Hello everyone and welcome to this week's short video tutorial. This would be based on Deception and Countermeasures in the Xiangqi opening, a free ebook that is available on the World Xiangqi Federation website. The free ebook that is available will like bots 1 and 2. So I started with bot 3 the last week, and this would be bot 4 in today's tutorial. Now this would be a much shorter bot than the previous one, and I hope you enjoy the book. So again, in bot 2, the same direction cannons, rank chariot versus foul chariot was discussed, and so far this is one of the most commonly seen same direction cannons variation. Now both colors will consolidate the center. In the previous board, red would play r6 plus 7, r6 plus 7, which was a deceptive move, which tried to scare black to think that the black chariot would gain material. Now in this move, in this board, red will play r6 plus 5 instead. Now this is considered to be one of the orthodox ways of playing this position. Other commonly played orthodox moves would be to play p3 plus 1, c8 plus 2, or r9 plus 1 to develop both chariots as rank chariots. All these are viable options, and but part of this huge opening system, and each variation will lead to its very different complicated situations. Now in this board, r6 plus 5 was analyzed by the masters. So black would counter with c2 plus 2, because by advancing the chariot to this file, red was prepared to capture the pawn and threaten the horse immediately. Now one might wonder, would e3 plus 1 be a viable option? Because if red would play r6 equals 7, black would play r1 equals to 3 for the elephant chariot. Now this variation was commonly seen back in the 1960s or 70s, I can't remember, but it has largely become irrelevant. The reason why would be black would play a riverbank cannon, threatening to capture material, to play r8, c8 equals 7 to threaten the horse, and thus making r1 equals to 3 not a possible option. Now to prevent c8 equals to 7, black would usually be forced to play p3 plus 1. But at this point, red would play c8 equals to 5 and threaten to play r7 equals to 8, and this would force black to move the horse to the riverbank. Now as the cannon is already at its position, black can make this move without too much worries, because the cannon skewer, as mentioned in the previous board, the threat of such a cannon skewer would not be present anymore. So red would capture or trade cannons and develop his left chariot, and as can be seen, the black chariots will now be terrorizing the black formation. And because the elephant had been moved earlier, this elephant would be a major issue, and black would have gained tempo in his attack. So the black's formation would be weakened, and red would have gained some tempo in this attack. So that is why e3 plus 1 is not viable or seldom seen anymore. c2 plus 2 would be the sound move, or the recommended move in this situation. So p7 plus 1 will be played to prevent the black cannon from playing c2 equals to 3. And at this point in time, now this would be the deception that was discussed. Usually the orthodox move would be to play c2 equals to 7, whereby red would counter in a similar manner as mentioned in the previous board, and black would be force a trade of pawns in this manner, and black would have a very playable game. So if red captured the pawn, black would do so, and as can be seen, the resulting situation, red would not have gained much with this chariot, and black would now be prepared to play r1 equals to 2 to develop his material. Black can be very satisfied with this opening. So that is why usually c2 equals to 7 is played. However, in this board, black would try something cheeky with p3 plus 1. This is a deceptive move with very evil intentions. Now, r6 equals 7 would be a natural move to make, whereby red will prepare to capture the horse and also the pawn to gain material. But black will continue to protect the horse in this manner, and at this point in time, red should not play r7 minus 1. This would be apt in this situation. He should not play p7 plus 1 to attempt to cross the pawn, because, as can be seen, black could immediately retreat his cannon to the throat rank and be prepared to play c2 equals to 3 to attack the red chariot and the red pawn, and red would have actually concentrated quite some bit of material attacking this flank. So this would be a very nice option for black if this situation were to occur. So p7 plus 1 would not be a good idea. Instead, r7 minus 1 to capture the pawn would be the sound move in this situation. So how would black continue? Black would play p7 plus 1 because the horse would not be protecting the cannon, and p7 plus 1 would limit the development of this red horse. Now, this was part of black's plan, and it will usually encourage red to play h7 plus 6 to attack, because once the horse was at the riverbank, red would be able to. The horse would now be a major threat, threatening to play h6 plus 7 to threaten the black chariot and also prevent the black horse from moving, etc. Now, at this point in time, the black cannon would do mischief again, because the red chariot was now stranded on the cross riverbank rank and very vulnerable to attack. Now, with c2 plus 2, black would be prepared to play c2 equals to 3 to attack the chariot from behind and also to capture the pawn. Now, at this point in time, this would be the position of discussion for this short variation, for the short board. Now, two variations would be discussed. The first would be h6 plus 7, whereby red would fall into black's trap. On the surface, it would seem to be a good move because red would not be attacking the black chariot, and once the horse, if the chariot retreated or moved away, red could play h7 plus 5 to capture the pawn and then capture the black horse to gain material. Now, this was the theme of the board also, because red would be too concerned with immediate gains. Unfortunately, this would also be a trap that red would have to pay dearly for, because red would move his chariot out of harm's way, and if h7 plus 5 were played, instead of capturing the red horse, black would play c8 equals to 7, and behold, the black chariot was now trapped. It cannot move here, cannot move here, the horse will capture it. It cannot move here, the pawn will capture it, and it can neither move here either, and h7 plus 6, so the chariot will be lost. So as for the horse, it cannot do much either, because the elbow horse, the threat of an elbow horse attack would be prevented by the black chariot. So black would have fell into the trap. So when r1 minus 1 were played, if black should have played r7 equals to 6, and although black would have gained a little bit of initiative, things would not be as bad, but either way, black would have slowly gained some momentum and gained some advantage. Hence, in this position, when black played advanced his cannon, the correct move to play would be h6 plus 4, whereby black would offer a trade of chariots. However, there were, another possible move would be to play p7 plus 1 for an aggressive counter-attack. Now, this variation was mentioned in the book. As can be seen, both pawns would now have crossed the river and they were attacking the respective enemy horses. Now, this variation would be very volatile and is usually shunned by professional players because they would have little control over the situation on the board. There are two men. It is very complicated. As mentioned before, the pawns would be prepared to charge to attack enemy horses. Red will be threatening to capture the black cannon, but the chariot will be able to move, etc. So there are many. It is a very complicated situation at this point in time. So this is usually shunned by professional players, whereby they would opt for more control of the situation. So in the board, in the book, h6 plus 4 was discussed in depth. Now this would be a much better alternative to the previous two variations, whereby red would still command the advantage and also gain material, control the situation on the board. So if h6 plus 4 were played, black should continue with c2 equals to 3. Now, trading horses would not be an option because after trading horses, the threat of the black cannon and the chariot would now be resolved, and as can be seen, the chariot would now have to protect the pawn, and if it moved away, r4 equals to 3 would threaten the black cannon, and the effectiveness of these two pieces would be greatly diminished. If black tried to play e7 plus 9, the red pawn would charge across the river, and once this pawn was across the river, it would be a very, very big headache for black, because the obvious target would be the black horse. If black tried to play r1 equals to 2, c8 equals to 7 can be played, and red would generally be able to answer whatever plans that black would try and still command a significant advantage. Hence, trading horses would not be a good idea, and instead black should play c2 equals to 3. And if c2 equals to 3 were played, because the red chariot was protected by the pawn, red could continue to capture the horse and threaten the black chariot. And although it would seem that black did not lose any material, black could now play the 5-7 cannons and threaten the black horse, effectively pinning the horse to this file, because if it moved, red could capture the central pawn or the black elephant and gain some momentum, gain some tempo in his attack. And the issue of the black chariot being a close chariot would not have been resolved much either. So red would have a significantly clear advantage at this point in time. A short recap. Now this would be the deceptive move that black would try with c2 plus 2, and r6 plus 7 will be a disaster for red. p3 plus 1 will lead to a situation which would be hard to control for red either. The best optimal move would be h6 plus 7 to initiate a trade of the horses, and which will result in a significantly clear situation for red. And just in case black wanted to play r1 equals 2, black could play r9 plus 1 and attack the cannon or control the red files as needed. I'm sorry for my voice. I have sinusitis at the point of recording, and if you like my work, please subscribe to my channel, and see you soon.